fitness, and the whole goal of the channel is to be a well-rounded individual. Nutrition is just one aspect of our life, but it will still be the center of it, because I believe when you eat healthy, you make better decisions, you look better, you feel better, and your overall health is a lot better. Now, today's topic is slightly different from the last couple of videos. Now, why are Gen Z and millennial and getting married, and the impact on fertility rate?
So when are you getting married?
That is the topic of today. Okay. Yeah, I know that's gonna sound a bit much, but that is the topic of the day. Now, imagine a world where love stories are written with rings and vows, but with promotion and student loans. Let me just stop there again. Sorry. Imagine a world where love stories end with rings and vows.
I've read this tale, there's wedding then betrayal. I know that come the day I want to run and hide. I love.
But instead, it's job promotions, student.
Hey, with the wedding so close, maybe we should talk about where we're going to live.
Loan. The reality is that fewer young people are actually trying to tie the knots.
Dreamy American girls who all want a storybook wedding and a big shiny rock. It's like the ones they see in the advertisements of your politically correct magazines.
And it's causing a ripple effect that's shaking up society right now.
I mean, I wore this sexy white shirt and I did the whole cold feet move and we slept in the same bed.
See, all over the world, not just here in the island, all over America, even as far as Australia and most of the Asia. But let's explore why Gen Z and millennial are swiping left on marriage and what that means for the future.
Can I use your phone to swipe left to get rid of the uglies?
Especially when it comes to fertility rate. Now, number one king is education factor and rising standard. Okay, back in the day, getting married was as natural as upgrading from the VHS to DVD.
Now, apparently, your school is still operating on VHS, but I found this gem in the teacher's lounge.
It just happened. But today, marriage is no longer the default setting. For many, it's become somewhat like a glitch in the system.
It must have been some kind of glitch or something.
And major factor is, you guessed it, education. Now take South Korea, for example, a country for its rigorous academic culture, now all the world's lowest marriage rate. South Korean women are breaking academic records.
Smart, beautiful. Not those like K-pop skanks with like no brain, big eyes and small backsides.
With success comes in shifts, with success comes in shift of priorities. And not only in South Korea, you can look at Singapore, you could also look at a lot of African-American women that are highly educated. It's a common trend that's happening right now, they're looking for partners who match
Here you go. I don't need no man and you too young for me.
your education, your career ambitions. No longer just settling for anyone that has a pulse or can just have a regular job, But South Korea isn't alone. If you look at it across Europe, women are outpacing men in higher education, with their expectations.
Take out a shitload of student loans, then bail on the feds once you get your degree.
Are rising. So with this comes our expectations. If you've done the work on yourself, you maybe want someone of your equal, whereas back in the days, people just got together, or maybe were from secondary school and they live in the same town,
Kids, change it to no scrubs.
and that was enough, and they built a life from there. Why set off this for your high school sweetheart when you can find someone who's career driven and who also has career driven ambition and wants to achieve greater, better things? Now the problem, the pool of equally ambitious men isn't as deep as it used to be.
Yeah, it's a needle in a haystack.
Okay, listen.
Dating app, whereas men just tend to swipe on as many as as many women as they can get. So, which means the type of women, so the type of men that women are looking for nowadays. Now that we are more educated, we are more well read, we have more degrees, we have better jobs. Quite frankly, a lot of women have even bought houses.
It's just not my type, I guess.
They have better finances than a lot of men. They are out-earning men. They are more successful in terms of career, academic, maybe starting a business, maybe not even a business, but maybe career-wise, and that leaves, and same can be said from some men as well, as maybe men that are more, even men that are highly successful or educated, they probably, the male ego, they probably want someone that's agreeable and they can be on the same page.
It's not just male ego, is it?
Whereas it's not the same. If you're a woman that you've worked on yourself, you're probably gonna look for someone that's maybe of your equal standard or equal, should I say. Now, as I said, South Korea and Europe, women are outpacing men when it comes to education, and their expectations are rising. Now, if you look at someone that's career driven and equally ambitious, having a family might be the second or fourth thing on their bucket list.
I'm just not ready to settle down.
And maybe they want to get settled in their career, and then they'll look at considering having a family. Now, let's just say that if you look at US shows like Friends, Sex and the City, turn the concept of marriage on its head. These shows didn't just entertain us, they reflected a more, should I say, compatibility and less about convenience. So this shows kind of pushed more, should I say, being compatible. So finding the right partner, and maybe finding someone that's more compatible, should I say, and less about convenience. People might just get married or might be living in the same town, and the chances are I live in street 1 and you live in street 2 and we went to the same school. Chances are we are gonna get together. We might end up being boyfriend and girlfriend, and that's the way I've seen it. Especially for me, where a lot of my friends from primary school that I know for years, probably was even going to secondary school from the age of 15, so I say are still together today, married with their girlfriend or wife. Should I say wife? Now wife, if you want to add her up, and they've been together for 15, 20 years, but that just doesn't
Yes, and I love him very much.
happen anymore. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the pressure to succeed and delayed milestone. Now, you might say, okay, I want to have money first. I want to be successful. I want to be financially stable. I want to have all this thing in check before I look at settling down and having a family and whatnot. Now, back to, I say, delayed pressures to succeed. In the US and Canada, high school, college years are often critical for forming lifelong bonds. But in countries like Japan, the pressure to succeed academically, professionally is very intense.
He wants me to study international law at Yale.
So intense, the fact that marriage takes a backseat to the everyday grind and hustle. It's the paradox. Those same years statistically are the best for meeting a future spouse, and now filled with career stress and ambition and educational demand. If I can recollect, a lot of people meet their spouse through either college, so let's say 15, 20 years ago, before dating now became a phenomenon. A lot of people meet their spouse or their partner through college, either secondary school, either work. And even now, I haven't heard anyone meeting from work or that maybe Gen Z, because even that, it's almost a taboo in itself. On the flip side, China offers another fascinating case. Here, the competition among men is fierce, with society norm demanding that they have a house, a car, substantial saving before even thinking about proposing to a girl. If you're a girl and a guy is 40 years old and he has a car, he has a house, he's got money saved, and you have all these other guys that are interested, you're more likely gonna pick the guys that are maybe that's financially stable, regardless of how you feel about the other guy. Now, it's no surprise that with such high stakes, few young people are choosing to get married. If the competition is that high, so why would you want to get married when the competition is extremely high? In Brazil, for example, a country known for its emphasis on family, marriage is being postponed as young adult focuses on careers. The delay also mirrors trends in India. Even in India, that's also the same issue where age of marriage is increasing as more women pursue higher education. And it's not just women, it's just men. Some men are choosing to get married at 40s, whereas 20 years ago, some people got married at 22, 24, and even to get married at 25, at my age, people will say, oh, you waited this long to get married, you couldn't be married at 25, 26, and I think as we get more highly educated in society, we're putting marriage third, fourth, last on our list. If you want to look at a highly educated society, the better educated society has, the less kids you're going to have. The more religious, the more kids they're going to have.
The more religious, the less educated, and the poorer, the higher the birth rate. Low on the religion, high on education, and high on income, that has the lowest birth rate.
You can also say the same about maybe successful countries that are less religious, so they maybe are prosperous. You can say China as an example, maybe China and Japan are an example. You can look at countries where religion takes center of their gravity. Apart from Saudi Arabia, which I know they have oil and they have resources, but that's the exception. Now to get back on track, even in Africa, where marriage rates have historically been high, urbanization and the rise of female workforce participation are shifting norms. But the shift away from marriage isn't just about finding Mr. or Mrs. Right. It's also about redefining.
You're just not my type, I guess.
Maybe she just hasn't found Mr. Right yet.
How is Mr. Right going to find you hiding behind all this, huh?
And we worried all those years about her finding Mr. Right.
Finding what family means. Now, enter the rise of single motherhood by choice.
Single mother, no money, and now I take care of her.
She has never married, but is a single mother supporting a growing 12-year-old son.
Now, you might have to think, what is single motherhood by choice? To simply put, these are women that are not living it to just chance to find a partner. And maybe they are at an age where they need to find someone that to have a child with, and their biological clock is taken. Or maybe there isn't just anyone suitable, or maybe they just they rather just have a child and not deal with the stress of having another person to talk to. But simply put, single motherhood by choice is single motherhood and alternative family structure, with more women prioritizing career, education, and many are taking control of their reproductive futures. The rise of single motherhood by choice is changing the traditional narrative. Countries like Denmark and Belgium, I've seen a surge in women opting for sperm insemination or egg freezing. I know a lot of women, maybe around my age or maybe a little bit older or younger, are freezing their eggs. And maybe when you're ready to have a family, when they're ready to have a family, or when you do find someone they want to have a kid with, the family with, it signifies that it's in us to want to have a child or have a family or build a life. But let's say in the US, for example, it's becoming more common for women to choose single motherhood if the right partner hasn't appeared by a certain age. So let's say the ideal the ideal fertility window for women is from the age of 18 to say 30, 35. But as you get to 30, your fertility rate goes down and down, down, down. So if you were 28, you might have 80% chance of getting pregnant. And now that you're 36, 37, that might only be 10 or 15%. But that's not to say that women that are much more older can get pregnant if they've done the stuff like look after their health, they've had proper food, it's nutrition, and getting pregnant might take a lot more help, or maybe they need a bit of help. I believe the government in Ireland are even offering one shot for IVF treatment for couples in a certain age range. So the reality is, it's not just women, even men as past the age of 40 or and over, your sperm quality also decreases as you age. So it's not just it's the women's fault. Yes, well, guess what, guys? If you're a man, you smoke, you eat junk food, you drink, you party, you take drugs, you don't exercise, you don't look after your health, those factors could also affect your sperm quality as well. Now, before I get sidetracked, this trend isn't just confined to Western countries. Even in conservative countries, the stigma around single motherhood is slowly eroding. Women worldwide are reclaiming their rights to define what a family looks like on their terms. So, what does this shift mean for institutional marriage? Will it evolve, or are we watching marriage fade away? And how does this tie into a bigger picture, our declining fertility rate? Okay, the fertility crisis. Globally, fertility are declining at a faster rate, at a ticking time bomb. South Korea fertility rate has plummeted to 0.72, the lowest in the world. Countries need at least 2.1 to maintain a stable population. So each woman would we need to have an average of 2.1 child to just maintain population. Now, what's causing this? A cocktail of factors: demanding work cultures, stagnation wages, rising living costs, change in expensive living cost, change in attitude towards their marriage. That's just one aspect. And maybe and also let's not forget, to get married, you actually need to find someone. Maybe someone, maybe one or two people that you're talking to, and then you get serious with them. You need to be with them for a certain amount of time. You need to know if they have the same value as you. So that's just no.
Want to marry you on the second date. The gold diggers. Let's take away the women with their past trauma issues. The ones that might be a little uptight in bed. And then the ones that are too loose in the streets. Want a woman who leans into her feminine energy. So we're going to take the ones who don't do that away. And then the ones who have let themselves go. You don't want to date them. And then from that, all you have to do is take away the ones that are batshit crazy. And here we have it. You need to take away the ones that are married, aren't age appropriate because we are over 40, ones that are gay, ones that are broke, the ones that are emotionally unavailable, the ones that still have drama with their ex. We're gonna take away the ones that are perpetual bachelors, okay? Then we have the ones that don't know what they want. The ones that love bomb you. And then, all right, so this is what we have. So we want someone who's attractive. I have 10, so I need someone over 5'8". So a few people who decide they still want to smoke cigarettes, they have to meet the people who don't want any more children. And this is what I'm left with. However, we need to take this then. They're not all in my area. We need to then spread these people around.
That's another factor, on its own. So while countries like Japan are pouring billions into incentivizing people to have more kids to boost birth rate, the problem persists. Japan Prime Minister Fumio, I'm going to butcher his name, Fumio Kishikata, forgive me if I pronounced it wrong, has even warned that the country is on the brink of not being able to maintain social function. Yet the solution isn't as simple as incentivizing people to have kids. For example, the high cost of childcare is a major barrier. Take Ireland, for example, where childcare costs can range from $1,400 to $2,000 per month. That's a mortgage on its own itself. So it's no wonder many parents are opting out of having more children or delaying parenthood altogether, So the solution, government, if you're listening, they need to make childcare more affordable. Please make childcare affordable. I repeat, please make childcare affordable. State-run centers subsidies and incentivize for businesses to offer childcare could make a huge difference. So if governments are going to back people that have childcare to open up more branches, maybe train more people, there are already people maybe that are doing childcare like under the book, meaning like they're just doing it in their own house, looking after this person's kid. And okay, let's say you're working, you got 2 kids, and the person that's looking after your kid, you pay them maybe, I don't know, a couple of hundred euros per week. And they just say, okay, you know what? I'm thinking I'm going to travel or I'm going to move. And now you're back to square one. Now, the global impact. If the current trend continues, we could see a future where older population dominates. By 2070, the number of workers in the UK is set to rise by just 43 million, while the number of pensioners will increase by 5 to 7 million, give and take. This demographic shift could lead to labor shortages, lower tax revenues, strain on public services. Countries like South Korea, Japan, China, which have heavily restricted immigration as a solution, might face even steeper challenges. Meanwhile, European countries that have more, shall I say, lenient, if that's the word, more lenient immigration policies, and a lot of countries in Europe are trying to close their border or like to restrict the flow of immigration. So bringing in more people will not only solve the birth rate, and that's just, that's the quick short-term fix. But like take for example, Europe is more of a progressive country, progressive continent where immigration policies might fare slightly better if you go to somewhere else where it's their way or no way. But they need not immune to the pressure of aging population, so that doesn't mean they're not gonna suffer from the aging population. The implications are profound. We are looking at the future where the global balance shift with potential economic and social upheavals. The solution isn't just about encouraging people to have more babies. It's about creating an environment where starting the family is a feasible and desirable thing. So where does this leave us as we step into this new era of relationship and family dynamics? One thing is clear: the traditional paths of marriage, children is evolving, but whether we are ready for what comes next is a question we all need to answer. Now, if you have any comments you'd like to add, please leave a comment below. I will be making more videos like this, maybe once a month, and the whole channel will still center around wellness, and this is just one aspect of it. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video, and I hope you have a fantastic, wonderful week.